Hello and welcome to Brewers Daily, part of the Fan Arch Podcast Network. This episode is brought to you by Kalshi. Use promo code FANARCHBASEBALL to get $10 when you trade 10. I'm Dave Gasper. Got things to get to here on a Tuesday show. Today is the day Cooper Pratt will be making his major league debut. He is going to be in there for the Milwaukee Brewers. They have called him up, and he is going to be in there. He is going to be playing shortstop. I mean, the lineup isn't out yet, but I mean, we can all put two and two together and make four here with Cooper Pratt. With the call-up happening here, the arrival is here. The Brewers signed him to that $50 million contract extension. 3 days into the regular season was when that report came out that he had agreed to that deal. The Brewers have been talking with him kind of throughout spring training there, and they were able to get a deal done. But his debut had to wait until now. The Brewers wanted to give him more time until he was absolutely ready. He's been playing really well down in AAA. And they also wanted to give some runway to Luis Rengifo and David Hamilton and Joey Ortiz and all those guys on the left side of the infield mix at the major league level, just to see who would be able to step up and step forward. So far, David Hamilton has pretty well. Luis Rengifo has not. So that is where you're expecting that kind of change to end up happening, and the Brewers making some moves with the left side of their infield, which has been a problem offensively for the entire season. Even though David Hamilton has stepped up and has been solid, he's still not exactly putting up monster numbers here from the left side. It looks like he's putting up monster numbers compared to the other guys at his position. I mean, he has been the best player of that three, but still not saying a whole ton with that. But Cooper Pratt is now going to arrive. That is signaling a change here on the left side of the infield, and the Brewers trying to take a step forward here as they try to remain competitive in this NL Central and try to win the division for a fourth straight season, head back to the playoffs, and try and make a run to the World Series this time around. So they're going to be relying on a lot of youth, as they have over the past couple of years, and Cooper Pratt is part of that next wave. But speaking of trying to keep pace there in the NL Central, let's take a look at the standings here, because we did pass Flag Day the other day. Now, I know Memorial Day is kind of your first real checkpoint where you look at the standings. But as my buddy Armin Sarian over on Fox Sports 920 in Milwaukee would always say, Flag Day is the day that he truly checks out the standings. You get a couple more weeks, and that's when you can really kind of look and dial in at where things are. And so Flag Day was on Sunday. So, I mean, we've reached that point. The Brewers playing here, checking in on the standings. The Brewers in first place, great spot to be in. 4.5 game lead in the division over the St. Louis Cardinals in second place, which is a bit of a surprise. Cardinals at 39 and 31. This was kind of meant to be a rebuilding year for them. They traded off a whole ton of their veteran talent. They're letting the young guys play, and they've gotten some good young guys in there. J.J. Weatherholt's, chief among them, playing this year, but the Brewers are at 43 and 26, and the Cardinals at 39 and 31. So they are the closest threat there in the division. The Chicago Cubs are sitting at 2 games above 500. They are 37 and 35, so they're 7.5 games back. They've really kind of hit the skids over the past couple of weeks, which not complaining about. The Pittsburgh Pirates, everyone's kind of upstart pick this season because of what they did in the offseason. They are sitting right at 500 at 36 and 36. Once again, the Pirates will continue to remain the Pirates until proven otherwise. So they're 8.5 games back. And the Reds, another team that was everyone's kind of pick to click to win this division because, they got Terry Francona, they got other really good players and all that. They're at 34 and 37. They are 10 games back. They are the only team that is under 500 in this division. Also, just kind of with the standings as well, when you look at playoffs, the Brewers do have the third best record in the National League, so they have the worst record of any of the division leaders. The Atlanta Braves are at 46 and 25 so far. They've been incredible this season. And the Los Angeles Dodgers, shockingly, are right there at 45 and 27. So they continue to remain really good. They have a 7.5 game lead over the Padres in that division. The Braves have a 7.5 game lead over the Phillies in the NL East. So, once again, this is going to be tough for the Brewers to get back to that best record in the National League, best record in baseball that they had last season. It's certainly possible for them to get it. I mean, they're only 3 games back of that best record. They're only 2 games back of the Dodgers for that. So they're right there with it. Still a lot of season to go, but that is where the standings are currently sitting. And we can also check where things are currently sitting on Kalshi, where you can trade every single game. And for the Milwaukee Brewers, they got this game coming up against the Cleveland Guardians. And there is no Cooper Pratt player prop in here, as much as I would love it. But also that move hasn't officially been made yet here. So, but I am looking at Christian Yelich, hits, runs, and RBIs. Christian Yelich, I'm expecting to be back in there for the day off on Sunday. Christian Yelich, over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs. That is currently trading at 51%, which means a $100 trade pays out $182.66. So get a nice little chunk of change there. That's a pretty good chance for Christian Yelich here. Combining hits, runs, and RBIs. I mean, you get 1 home run, boom. I mean, you're over it right there. Any sort of base hit with an RBI, you're going to be right there. So that's a pretty solid look to get there with Christian Yelich over 1.5, trading at 51%. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house, and as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use this promo code FANARCHBASEBALL to get $10 when you trade 10, Kalshi, Kalshi, trade on anything. All right. We've got to talk about the All-Star balloting here as we have the first update that has been released. And guys, we have got to get voting here for the Milwaukee Brewers because Bryce Terang is coming in third among NL second basemen. That is something that absolutely should not be happening because somehow Bryson Stott is above Bryce Terang in this balloting. Now, I do understand that Philadelphia is a much larger market here. But come on, Bryce Terang is easily the best second baseman in this league, the way that he's been playing. So Bryce Terang, you got to get him into the top 2. He's not super far behind in those standings, so that's something that absolutely has to be made up to try and get Bryce Terang to be an all-star starter for this team this year. And also just looking at the total standings update here. The Brewers have a couple other guys in the top 5, including William Contreras, who is kind of a distant fourth among NL catchers. Drake Baldwin and Will Smith running away with that one. Then there's JT Realmuto. Contreras is, he's going to have to more than double his current vote total to catch up to Will Smith to be in second place. Jake Bauers is in 4th place among NL first basemen, but also kind of a distant 4th place. Matt Olson and Freddie Freeman both have over 800,000 votes. Then there's Bryce Harper at 650,000 and Jake Bauers just over 200,000 votes. So a lot of ground he's going to have to make up there to potentially be a starter, but he's absolutely deserving of an all-star nod. But Bryce Harper, Matt Olson, and Freddie Freeman is quite the name power ahead of him on this list. Bryce Terang, again, just about 20,000 votes behind Bryson Stott, so got to get voting for him. And then looking at designated hitter, Christian Yelich is in 4th place, but a very distant 4th place because leading the way at NLDH, shockingly, Shohei Ohtani with the most votes of anyone, and then Kyle Schwarber right after him, and then it's a long way down to Christian Yelich. Kyle Schwarber at 820,000, Christian Yelich 174. So a lot of ground to make up with that group also. So a couple of guys, but Bryce Terang really certainly the most deserving and the closest to getting a potential starting nod from this position player group. So got to keep the voting going there for these guys. But Also, the Brewers are probably going to have a couple of all-stars from their pitching staff, as they have had over the past couple of years. And one of them, Jacob Misiorowski, has just been named co-NL Player of the Week alongside Jackson Chourio. Because, of course, you got to have the two Brewers there. Now, Miz just missed out on NL Player of the Month, or Pitcher of the Month back in May. So now he ends up with, Player of the Week here for the Brewers, which, is fantastic because, he had the CG shutout, allowing just one hit. So, how could you not have him in there? But also Jackson Chourio for this past week, 13 hits, 5 homers, hitting .448 and a 1417 OPS. An incredible week for Jackson Chourio. He had 3 homers in the span of 24 hours in this week. So Chourio has been lighting it up. Jacob Misiorowski has been insane, as we know. So they get the Player of the Week honors here, being able to share it. Love to see it. Love to see the recognition for those guys and adding to it. But absolutely, Jacob Misiorowski is going to be an all-star. The question is he going to start the all-star game for the National League? And I think he should. And you have Christopher Sanchez over there. He just gave up 4 runs to the Brewers. So you have that dynamic in there as well, with Miz essentially out-dueling, even though they pitched on different days, but still in that same series there. Kyle Harrison, I think, certainly deserving of an all-star nod as well. So you could have a couple more there. Now, fans don't vote for pitchers. That's more the league, players and coaches that vote for those guys. But I feel pretty strongly that Miz is going to be an all-star and Kyle Harrison should be. But as fans, got to get Bryce Terang to that all-star game. Got to get him in the top 2. He's certainly more deserving than Bryson Stott. Stott has a bigger market behind him, but there's a passion here in Milwaukee. So got to be able to get him going and get this group together. So that's the all-star update there. That's the NL Player of the Week. So Brewers have a lot of good things going for them. Again, they're in first place. They have a pretty decent-sized lead, 4.5 games over the Cardinals. We'll see how long the Cardinals are able to keep this up, considering this was supposed to be a rebuilding year for them. But the Brewers trying to strengthen their team and get themselves a little bit more distance in the NL Central race by plugging one of the holes in their lineup, which has been shortstop. By bringing up Cooper Pratt. So hopefully you're going to be getting more offense out of another spot in the lineup, because they have a couple that have just been black holes in that lineup. So you bring in Cooper Pratt, and we'll see how that changes this offense. Very excited to see what his debut ends up looking like here. Could it be a Sal Frelick level debut? Remember Sal Frelick's debut? That was insane. Great defensive plays, great offensive plays. Just really great stuff. And, perhaps you can get more of the same from Cooper Pratt there. That would be lovely. MLB debuts are a wonderful thing. Very excited for Pratt and his family. And excited to see what he's going to be for the future here for this Brewers franchise. And we'll be breaking it all down tomorrow as well, once we see what happens right here on Brewers Daily. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and follow me on Twitter at dgasper24. Appreciate all of you watching and listening, and we'll see you again next time for another episode of Brewers Daily.